Hey guys, how you doing? Coach Ron Raymond here from CapitalQBs.com. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your day. I'm based out of Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Currently coaching with the Myers Riders Senior Varsity Football Team. We play out of the OSFL, the Ontario Summer Football League. And what I thought I'd do here today, guys, is a video on the preparation for players who are getting ready for their provincial team, either at Bantam, JV, or senior. And depending on the age group you're with, you're gonna, especially if you're going up a level, you're gonna notice that the players are bigger, stronger, and faster, and the reaction time. Right? We talk about this a lot when it comes to quarterback IQ. You got to have good reaction time, and that probably falls in line with the series of articles that I'm writing right now. It's called the Mastering the Art of Reading Defenses. If you want to check it out, just go to our website at capitalqbs.com, and I've got a lot of articles on. I think I'm at article 4 of 7. So if you come visit the website each and every day, hopefully they'll be up by then. All right, so let's talk about the two sides of quarterback training: off-season and in-season training. Now, two completely different mindsets, right? When you're in off-season training, you're trying to get bigger, faster, stronger. You're, depending on how many times a week you're training, are you doing speed training? Are you doing lifting? Are you you're working your quarterback mechanics? And a lot of players right now are in training camp. And the one thing with depending on the area you're from, you're probably in a situation where there's 2-3 quarterbacks, not a lot of competition, so you don't have a lot of pressure for winning the starting job, but you still got to, compete and get that job. But other areas, you probably get to a training camp and there's like 7, 8, 9 quarterbacks. It's very competitive. Everybody's pretty good. And then now it becomes a mental game, right? It becomes mental challenge on really trying to stay focused and just, have a next play mentality. The one thing I always say to our players is, look, if you just threw an interception, you threw a bad pass, an incompletion, it's in the past. You got to have this next play mentality, right? Because the most important play in football is always the next play. And in training camp, when you get to training camp, we're going to talk about some of the things that you're going to live right now in training camp. You're probably getting to training camp and you're probably competing with other good quarterbacks, and the environment's different. You got 100 players at training camp, and it's compared to the environment when you're training. You got like maybe 6-7 guys that you train with. But in the environment you're at training camp, there could be, like I said, 100 players. In-season training takes place in live practice and game environment with full opposition from defense and the pressure that comes from facing the defense, right? So you got to be able to react to the environment that you're in and just understand that, look, you do your job. Like Bill Belichick says all the time to his team, right? You got to do your job. And if all 12 players do their job, then you got a good chance of probably making the team. You got to stay focused, right? The one thing about in as a quarterback, which I feel is the most important position in all sports, in-season training is all about team-based skill development, applying those skills in live practice or game situation. And it's just, you can't lose focus of what the next play is, right? You got to visualize what is coming up next. You got to have key reads on the defense, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. The pressure, how you handle pressure from off-season to now, right? When you're in off-season, there's really not a lot of pressure. The pressure you probably put on yourself to get better physically and hopefully mentally, and that's one thing I'm really big on, right? You got to be a student of the game. You got to understand how the game of football works, how a defense works, and how to apply your indicators so that you're successful when you are you're challenged on really on the next play. Speed. The pace of in-season training is high with little rest and recovery between practices and games, right? How true is that? When you're in a 2-hour practice, and you're in team period, and you're mentally, it's physically you're feeling the effects of it physically, but it's also the mental part, because some players will struggle mentally because they'll get down on themselves real quickly and just coming off a bad series. But you got to have that next play mentality and really adapt to the speed of the game, right? If you're playing JV and you're going to senior, just understand that you're facing 17, 18-year-olds, or 19-year-olds in some cases. The game is pretty quick. Defense, right? You got to understand defense. Quarterbacks face full oppositions from the defense in a live game situation. You got to require quick thinking skills, anticipation, split-second decision-making. That's why I'm doing this article, this series on decision-making, right? When you get to a training camp and your pass skelly is one of the best things for quarterbacks because you're really not getting the pressure from the defense, except for you're trying to find key indicators from the defensive coverage in the secondary. But this is where I find that quarterbacks will get the best out of their development when they're in pass skelly, because let's say you're running, say, a concept of a corner and hooks, right? We call Kansas. And if you got you're a number to, say you got two receivers to the right, two to the left, you're in balanced set. I'm just using that as an example. You got the number 2 receiver running a corner, number 1 running a stop. Well, it's how you react to that, right? That you got to pick up indicators pre-snap to help you make a quick decision on where you're going to go. And I always say to our team, marry it, don't date it. If once you've made a decision and after post-snap, live with that decision that you've made and then react, and hopefully it turns out to be a positive play for you. And have goals, right? Once you're in season, your goal should be to try to be the starting quarterback. Yeah, your number 1 goal when you get to training camp is you're trying to be the starter, right? But you got to understand, to be the starter, you have to be a complete rounded quarterback, not just physically, but mentally. And I think a lot of quarterbacks are really trying to understand the mental part of the game. And you can't just come to training camp and all of a sudden you want to start learning defenses. This has to be done in the off season. That's why this title of this video is called Off Season and In Season Training. You have to dedicate some of your off season training to quarterback IQ. And then now when you get to training camp, you get to see the defenses in real time. And now you got to visualize what they are doing on the defensive side of the ball and take every play and then visualize those plays against different, concepts of the coverages, like cover 3 cut, cover 3 hold, if playing man, if they're playing zone, cover 2, all the different things that they're going to throw at you on a defense. You have to visualize that as a quarterback and understand on each play, this is probably where I'm going to go on my first read. And I'm going to do another video after probably next week on high, low, and check down concepts, right? I feel there's an operating system you must have on different plays, and I'll get to that in just another video. All right, so that's if you want to read this article, it's at capitalqbs.com. And if you're interested in training with us this summer, we are now we got Cégep quarterbacks, university quarterbacks who are going to train with us here in the summer, and also high school quarterbacks. And if you're in the Ottawa area and you'd like to train with the high school, Cégep, and university quarterbacks, go to our website, hit the training program link up here, and then go right to where it says quarterback training, summer quarterback training, and then just come up here, express your interest, tell us what level of do you play at, what's your level, and then tell us the months you're probably interested in training, and then we're going to cater a schedule for our players this summer here in the Ottawa area. All right, hopefully you guys got something out of this video. And again, a lot of resources, a lot of articles here at the website. And always remember, right, you got to have a next play mentality. If things didn't go your way during a play, just try to get better in the next play. And the good thing about football, there should be always another play coming up, right? So work on your QB IQ. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And hopefully we'll see you pretty soon here training with Capital QBs. Cheers.